Hello! Quick video today to answer this question. Hello, Teacher Kaye. Ask ko if how to tell when a toddler is ready to talk. Are there any signs? And before getting into detail, the answer is yes, maraming signs. Kaya tara, usap tayo. Let's get talking. Hi! If you're new here, I'm Teacher Kaye and I'm a certified speech-language pathologist. So to very quickly answer that question, maraming ang mga signs na makikita natin kung handa na ba ang mga batang magsalita. And that's when we usually refer to the developmental milestones. And these developmental milestones cover not only speech and language, but motor control and executive functions like attention, because all of those cascade into their later speech and language skills. I've already made a summary of speech and language milestones. Nasa website ko yan, ilalagay ko na lang yung link sa baba. But take note that developmental milestones are the typical sequences of the average of all children around the world. So iba-iba po talaga ang timing ng skill acquisition ng iba-ibang bata, and that is affected by so many factors. Pinapaalala ko to because if napapansin na natin na yung bata ay merong problema sa, let's say, muscle tone or medyo delayed rin ang kanilang ibang motor skills, na this will affect their speech and language development. It's really beneficial to keep observing yung mga milestones, especially from 0 to 3 years old, because this is the time na naglalapat yung mga bata ng kanilang foundations of learning. Ibig sabihin, dito natin mapapansin kung paano natututo yung mga bata. Kaya ba nilang matuto ng nanonood lang sa ginagawa ninyo? Or kailangan ba silang tutukan? Kung kailangang explicit talaga yung teaching sa kanila. And if napapansin natin na nahihirapan sila to learn on their own, that is when we need to step in and ask for help from professionals. But very quickly, I'm going to give you the top 5 skills that I think are prerequisite or kailangan meron sila bago natin i-expect na makakapagsalita sila.
Are you ready?
Number 1, I think it is so important na the child can already track a moving object or a person. So this means na kapag si mommy ay naglakad across the room, ay masusundan ng bata kung saan pumupunta si mommy gamit ang kanyang mata. Why is this important? Because that is sustained attention on one object and being able to follow that with body stability. Later on, that will progress into, kunyari, mommy draws attention to something else like, oh, look at the brown doggy. Tapos titingnan ng bata, saan nakatingin si mommy? Doon sa brown doggy. So that already translates into the beginnings of joint attention. Number 2, I think it's important that the child can already point or at least refer their body to something that they want you to pay attention to. Usually, it is when they want to show you something important or when they want so much to request for something, yan ang mga unang mga nasasabi nilang mga salita. And that's why some of the most common first words are the people that they love the most, mama or papa, their favorite objects, their favorite food, the things that they want to do the most like eat or drink or play. And that segues to number 3. After pointing or referring, they will learn other gesturing. Like kapag gusto nilang magpakarga, ay yung iaakit nila yung kamay nila, or yung mga routine greetings like natututunan nilang kaway, bye-bye, hi. And number 4 is when they start to make sounds or vocalize. So they usually start vocalizing meaningless pa yan. Mga cooing, diba? And then later it will turn into babbling between 6 to 8 or 10 months. And then eventually, all those sound productions will turn into trying to imitate the sounds that you make for words. So imitation of sounds is already a very important skill. Kasi ibig sabihin, yung naririnig nila sa inyo ay kaya nilang ma-replicate back to you. So this shows that they kind of have an idea of how words work, na you combine different sounds to make words that have meanings. And that's so important because number 5 is knowing how much words they can already understand. So even if the gap is very, very small, laging mauuna ng kaunting-kaunti yung comprehension, naiintindihan ba nila yung salita bago yung expression, kung masasabi or mabibigkas nila yung salita. So knowing these 5 skills, what do I advise for you? So let's go back to number 1.
Are you ready?
So So if you want them to start tracking objects, simulan nyo na kapag kaya na nilang medyo ma-isolate yung upper body nila from their lower body so that ma-turn nila yung heads nila. So play with a lot of squeaky toys or things that make sounds, or talk to them often out of their line of sight para lilingunan ka nila. You can also work with rattles. So you shake a rattle here para titingnan nila, tapos mamaya dun ililipat mo naman dito, tapos titingin naman sila dun. You can also look at sensory bottles. Kasi when you show them sensory bottles at kaya nilang sundin yung mga ibang objects dun, is very good practice for object tracking. I made an IG reel in collaboration with a local brand with regard to that, and I'll put the link below. For number 2, I already have a video on teaching your children how to point kapag hindi nila kusang napipick up itong skill na to. Try some of those tips on that video. I also made an infographic about the first 16 gestures to have by 16 months. Again, I'll put the link below. But I also have a video on baby sign language. So some of the gestures that you may want to teach your baby, really functional ones like eat and drink and help. So this is good for imitation skills and communicating with them kahit hindi pa sila nakakasalita. For babbling, I already have episode 5, which is about from baby sounds to words. So you might want to look about the usual sequence of ano yung mga first sounds na natututunan nila, just so you know what to expect. You can also increase overall babbling by just keep stimulating them with language. So try episode 4 on dubbing or commentary, and also try my technique on imitation. And this usually gets a lot of new sounds or new exploratory sound productions from babies. For the last one, checking what your child understands, is almost all my videos here, but you may want to look at following commands. Also try to check the video, check what your child understands. That's about object identification, but you can also try different activities like sorting, categories, matching, etc. Overall, the biggest tip I can give you is laging kausapin at kalaruin yung mga bata. The more words na naririnig nila, na exposed sila, eventually magugulat na lang kayo, magagaya ka na nila one day and they will be talking. And last note, always remember, kung napapansin nyo na nahuhuli na yung anak ninyo with demonstrating some of the skills na kailangan na niya at a certain age range, humingi na agad ng tulong. Huwag pong mahiya, huwag pong matakot. Kailangan po yan ng bata para ma-build natin ang kanilang foundation for learning. So if you found that helpful and useful, please like it and share it. I'd like to invite you to consider subscribing by clicking that button. You may also message me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok at Teacher Kaye Talks. At hanggang sa muli, happy talking at mabuhay!